Okay, here is a tutorial on how to use the WRT3920 high efficiency wood burning fireplace by Superior. And we just finished this installation. It's a one-door fireplace, opens like this. You can see here the top secondary combustion tubes, but this model is also equipped with a catalytic combustor. And the way it works is basically, let me start from the beginning. So when you start a fire, here's a little lever that goes left and right, or right and left. And you want to keep it on the left at the very beginning of your fire. So that means you are supplying the maximum amount of oxygen available for combustion. You're going to put some wood. Do not put a grate. Do not use a grate in this fireplace. Just stack your wood, make a little teepee. You'll get the hang of it with practice. Of course, use some kindling, get your fire going, and close the door almost all the way. As you can see, I left a little, about an inch open, and monitor your fire. You'll see that once you get a big log going solid, inflamed, then you can close this door. This basically gives us extra oxygen available to the fire so that you can start the fire easier. Okay, so what we do is once the fire is going, we close the door, and then we monitor this thermometer here. You can see there is a zone in the center in the temperature in white, somewhere between 500 and 1400 degrees. That's the zone within which your catalytic combustor is active. However, your catalytic combustor, which is responsible for efficiency and just lowered pollution, that combustor will not be effective unless it is activated. And here is how we activate it. You see down here in that little level I showed you, there is a little hider key that we use to open and close the damper. Okay, so if I look down here, you see a little, this object here. This is the housing that holds up the catalytic combustor. So if you looked up here, there's a little lever here with a hole, and that's where this key fits into. And if I pull on it, you heard something. What you heard was this housing went down and opened the passage to the chimney. Let me do it again. And I push on it. It's closed, and I'll do it again. I pull on it, it's open. I push, closed, and so forth. So basically, if we're starting the fire, we want this passage open, right? And we want this all the way to the left. We're doing our kindling, the fire is going, then we close when the fire is established. And again, that passage is still open. And once the temperature on this dial, there's a little dial here, once that dial shows that we already reached, we're in the white zone, about 500 and up, that's when we want to close the passage of the catalytic converter by pushing this in. So we push this in, and that's when we're achieving the highest efficiency and the lowest emissions. I'm gonna go from the beginning again. So we make sure that this is pulled out when we're starting a fire. So we just pull on this, and of course we load up our firebox, start the fire, keep the door slightly cracked for maybe 10 minutes, depending on if you're starting wood with softwood. If you're starting with hardwood, you might have to wait a little longer. Hardwood is, of course, harder to start fires with. Once the fire is established, we close the door, and then we monitor the thermometer. And if we're once we're in this light colored zone of temperature, then what we do is we push in and close the passage. And what this does is it forces the smoke to go through the catalytic combustor and give us the higher levels of efficiency and lower levels of pollution. And then we can put this key away. This fireplace is also equipped with a blower. There is a blower that's housed in a cavity down here. It is wired, connected to a rotary switch on the wall. And what the blower does is once the unit gets hot, that depends on how intense the fire is. It may take anywhere between 20 to 45 minutes. The blower will activate, and from that point on, you can turn the blower off or on max, or dial the speed down if it's too intense or too loud, because these blowers do have a sound associated with them. And so right now I can show you because the unit is cold, so there will be no blower going. But I'm going to leave it on max so that once the firebox is preheated, the blower will come on and you will hear it going. You will feel hot air come out of this top section here, this little slit at the very top. So there you go. This is a really nice high efficiency fireplace. It allows us to bring the non-combustible facade all the way to the all the way around, tightly around the door opening. So it's good for very clean installations.